Welcome to Unleash the Awesome with Dave Gambrill. All of us have unique skills, talents, and abilities that aren't being used to their full potential. Our mission is to share the people, tools, apps, and other resources that will help you unleash your awesome on the world.
Yo, what's up? It's Dave. Welcome to another episode of Unleash the Awesome. Today, let's talk about Press X already. Press X already. So, a few years ago, when one of my sons was still in high school playing soccer, we were at a soccer game, and they were a very, very good team. Always made the playoffs in high school, and this particular year, they ended up going on and winning the state championship. So, very, very competitive, very good program. And we were watching this game one night. It was a night game. It's dark out, and when I watch any of my kids play sports, I have to get away from the rest of the parents. I just can't take parents that yell at the coaches and yell at the refs and everything else. So I tend to go way down towards the end of the stands, or in this case, at our high school, there's a elevated area on both extreme ends of the stands that is probably, 10 or 15 feet above the playing surface, and I just stand down there usually by myself and just watch and take it in. And occasionally, if it makes sense, when my kid's on the field and close and not in the action, I can provide feedback to them. I never yelled while stuff was going on, but if they looked at me and they were looking for feedback or coaching or support or whatever, I was always there, and they knew I was there, and they knew where to look for me every time they were out there competing, no matter what it is they were doing. So this particular game, I was watching, and my brother showed up with his two young sons, and we were watching the game and chatting and catching up on some things. And as we were watching the game, our team brought the ball down into the offensive area right outside the big box in soccer, so on the offensive end of the field, but not quite all the way in where the goalie is. And the team just kept passing the ball essentially back and forth across the top of the box or down the side of the box up to the top of the box, back and forth. And I wasn't really paying any attention to it, although I did notice that they had the defense out of position a couple times and they had the goalie on the move, which would have been great opportunities to take a shot on goal. But they were just waiting around. They were just moving the ball around back and forth, back and forth. It was very kind of like, I don't know if they were trying to lull the other team to sleep or whatever. And so I was joking around with my nephews, and we were taking funny pictures with the filters on Snapchat and all this other jazz, when one of my nephews, who I think was like 7 or 8 at the time, I didn't really realize he was watching either. And it was so quiet at the field because, like I said, there wasn't a lot of action going on. The ball was just kind of moving around the offensive zone. And out of nowhere, he just screams at the top of his lungs, "Press X already." And I started cracking up, because those of you that are familiar with video games would know that, especially in the sports video games, the X button on the controller or the joystick is the button that you use to shoot, to take a shot on goal. So while the team was down there just trying to look for the perfect shot and not taking any shots and just moving the ball around, it took a 7 or 8-year-old to figure out, like, listen, you're not going to win if you don't take a shot. Like, you got to shoot. And he just yells at the top of his lungs, "Press X already," which had me laughing for a really, really long time. And so it made me think about, I was just thinking about that story recently. It made me think about, like, what we do in our business sometimes, or what we do in a situation where, it's not enough just to get in the game. A lot of people say, hey, you need to get in the game. You need to go get stuff done. You need to make things happen, whatever. But it's not enough just to make things happen. It's not enough to get in the game. You actually have to get in the game and then take a shot on goal, right? You can't score if you don't shoot. You can't score on goal if you don't try to move the ball towards the goal. In almost all the sports where that is the object, right? You have to move the ball towards the goal, towards the net, towards whatever you call it in whatever sport you're talking about. And then you have to try to put that ball in the goal. But the only way to do that is to take a shot. You have to press X already. So sometimes when I see people asking me questions in my digital marketing mentorship Facebook group or in other places online, like they're asking a million questions, which their chase for perfection is actually the worst form most insidious form of procrastination. So sometimes you'll see me respond with, you got to take a shot. You got to go. You got to get in the game and got to take a shot. You got to press X already, because some people know that story. So I guess my encouragement to you is think about where you've just been kind of messing around, just moving the ball around back and forth, not really trying to advance it down the field. You're not going to learn anything unless you take a shot. And you certainly can't score unless you take a shot. And here's the other side of it too that I know a lot of people are afraid of. There's a chance that you're going to take a shot and miss it and give the ball to the other team, or the goalie's going to save it or whatever, and then you got to go play defense for a little bit. And then you should learn from that. Hey, probably wasn't a good shot, wasn't a good situation, whatever. But the only way you'll know any of that is if you just press X already. All right, so that's all I got for today's episode. Until we meet next time, go unleash your awesome on the world. See ya.
Thanks for listening to Unleash the Awesome. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please share us on your favorite social media platforms using #UnleashAwesome.